And it's a road, me buddy boys, where no hurry boys, we got a long way to go. We'll sing and we'll dance and bid farewell to France, and it's row, me bully boys, row. We set to sail on the roughest of waters, row, me bully boys, row. Row, me bully boys, row. And it's row, me bully boys, we're in a hurry boys, we got a long way to go.
Jack and plus 500.
I get in trouble. Oh, bum bum bum. Do 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 do. I got sunshine on a cloudy day, and when it's cold outside, I got the month of May. Well, I guess you'd say, what can make me feel this way, my girl, my girl. Hey, helmet. Just gonna play with the focus. Go. There we go. Bit of focus never hurt anyone. How you doing, Brad? Glad you liked it. I live. I am alive. I do the living. Welcome. Today we're working on this a dragon of sorts. Mm-hmm. 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 Man, I got music on the brain. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Just gotta remind myself to shut up. Hey, Paul. Good to be back, buddy. Sorry it took me so long. It's been a rough few weeks. Yeah, this was very much an unplanned break. It wasn't so much of a break. I didn't really take a break. It was just... I had lots of other things I needed to take care of. This hammer is, yes, an old piece of 3/16 stainless bolt. Well spotted. Yeah, I actually made two hammers. Fucking knows where I made two hammers out of threaded rod, both out of 3/16 stainless, out of the same piece. Funnily enough, it was an axle that had two separate. Wasn't really an axle; it was a rod, but it had two separate sizes of thread on it, and it just happened to be the perfect sizes for the two hammers that I wanted. Hey, Eric. How you going? Yes, made from bolt. Not really a bolt; it was a rod, but it had threads on both ends. So. Oh, good tech. Thanks for dropping in, buddy. Good to see you. Okay, I need a cab body with a tip, preferably. Focus on it. No, the pin side is never really used in this style of graver hammer. You can make them so that they can be used. Like you can make like a cross peen style one if you want, or a round, like a ball peen thing. But I never bother. All of the examples of the Japanese hammers I've seen don't have usable pins. Well, that's not true. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. Oh, it's still got a tip, I think. Yes. Good. Just pretty much saying anything can be used as a hammer. Indeed. Anything can be used to make a hammer, provided you have enough patience. So yes, this is done pre-heat treat. Chris, this is done pre-heat treat. Because these steel gravers would never cut this steel. Hey, Donovan. Good to be back, buddy. Thank you very much. Turning corners is almost always where I lose the tip of my keyboard, so I'm expecting to lose the tip of my keyboard. Kind of got to turn while tapping, and it's difficult. Yeah, the only way you'd be able to engrave this after hardening is if you were using tungsten carbide gravers, in which case you wouldn't be using a hammer and chisel, you would be using a pneumatic graver. And, I mean, while this kind of deep relief engraving can be done with a pneumatic, it's a lot of work. Highly not suggested. While pneumatics are really good at line work and like really fine stuff, Japanese graving kind of shines when it comes to doing deep relief. Deep relief carving, like this. Diamond burrs and a bit of etching. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like etching and stuff like that is another way to add some pizzazz, some flair to your work. I just really like making deep relief carvings on my work. Part of the reason I really like deep relief carvings and stuff like that is because oh well, join the club, buddy. Join the club. The reason I like deep relief carvings is because they do not fade like etchings and that kind of thing. Diamond burr stuff is fine, or like tungsten carbide burrs. That stuff normally lasts a while, but most shallow relief stuff, like etching and that kind of thing, doesn't last very long unless you take care of the piece that it's on. And so if you're doing like electro etching and stuff, you want to make it real deep so that it's not going to go anywhere. Which is a dark art in and of itself, to ensure that the thing doesn't end up disappearing underneath the tape or whatever shield, like whatever mask you have on your piece. I think this has still got an edge. Yes, it does. Good. You kind of got to get zen about it, Paul. You kind of just got to lose yourself in the tapper. The moment you want it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Someone asked me recently, like, how do you do this kind of stuff without hurting your eyes? And I was like, well, number one, bold of you to assume that I don't. And 2 Optivisors. Optivisors are god tier when it comes to engraving. Am I currently wearing my Optivisor? No. What do I do that for? I know it sounds like I'm missing the engraver a lot, but what I'm actually doing is hitting the graver and it's sliding off. Learn that. Because the engraver hit isn't a tap, tap, tap like this. It's kind of a push. Like I'm pushing into the graver. And so, yeah, it slips. That's no big deal. The thing about these being made out of stainless is that once the surface has like been hit a number of times, it starts to work harden, and so it won't deform that much, which is nice. Okay, well that's ugly. All right, well, I mean it matches the maker. Bum, bum, bum. I'm planning on running one. I don't know what the prizes will be at this stage. I have yet to work that out, but yes, I do plan on running another Bowie build-off this year. I do enjoy my Bowie build-off. So I'm going to put my Optivisor on because I can't see bugger all. Oh, I can see. That's the way to do it, Donovan. Are you going to join the 48-hour dagger challenge as well? Well, unlike the Bowie build-off, the 48-hour dagger challenge doesn't have a prize anyway, so there's even less to lose in that instance. Except bragging rights. So yeah, I highly encourage literally anyone to join both. Daggers, in my opinion, are a little more challenging than buoys most of the time. Looks good. So right now I'm just establishing the background, removing all of the excess material, establishing my depths. This step is the most tedious, but the most important, because if the background isn't the right depth, if the lines aren't right, then no amount of detail work is going to help you. Wish I could get a better angle of this for you guys, but unfortunately I am only limited to 2 cameras, and the other camera is a 720p rated face cam for when I do split cam work over on Twitch. This one is the work cam. If I was Alex Steele, I'd have multiple angles. Well, Chris, normally I start the well, last year I started the Bowie build in like November 1, and it went through till December 31st, or like January 1. This year, not sure when I'm going to run it. I think I might run it a little earlier in the year. Maybe June, July. Excuse me. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm thinking of running it a bit earlier this year. Because like December does tend to be a pretty busy time of year for most people. So I'm thinking, like I said, June, July area. Because I'm pretty sure the 48-hour dagger challenge is in August. And I don't want to coincide with that because that takes a lot of energy. And I'll be partaking this year, as always. Any hints on what the challenge might be? Which challenge? Yeah, well, it's my winter time too, so you know. The one I was just talking of? You mean the 48-hour dagger challenge or the Bowie competition? No, I have hiccups. Yay. God, hiccups suck. Fair enough. So the 48-hour dagger challenge is the same every year. You got to make a dagger in 48 hours. Pretty self-explanatory. Always perfect recipe for disaster. So yeah, you gotta make a dagger, so a double-edged blade. Doesn't matter what design of dagger it is, what size. Yes, it has to be symmetrical, and it has to have a guard. Those are the only two. For the Bowie competition, normally, well, I've only done one, so I can't exactly say normally because we haven't held multiple. But for the last one, the rules were the blade had to be longer than 8 inches. It had to have a guard or a bolster. Didn't have to have both. Just had to have a guard or bolster. Could be full tang, hidden tang, whatever you like. And it had to have a clip point. And obviously Alex won that one with his folding buoy. But there were some incredibly talented makers putting forward some amazing work. Yeah, no, it was great, wasn't it? God, these hiccups are going to kill me. Yeah, he was very proud of that, as he should be. Yeah, no, we've seen an uptick in the number of folder makers, mainly because of Bruce's classes. Bruce Barnett being the king of slip joint folders here in Australia in general. His classes are to die for. I would kill for one of his classes, but he's booked out until 2023. At the moment, he's not taking any further bookings. Watch as Sam goes feckin' nuts fighting hiccups. No worries, Paul. Have a good one, mate. Yeah, Chris. I mean, we're not fully out of it yet, but, you know, we're getting there. Boy. Ding. Alex posting stuff. How dare he? While I'm on live, no less. All good, Donovan. Thanks for checking in, buddy. Hey, Tim. Well, yeah, I'm having fun. I always have fun when I'm making stuff. How you doing? Morning coffee time. Excellent. What are you making today? So most of the background's gone. Now I just got to level it all out. 16 tongs. Fun. Lots of work. Okay. Bum, bum. Hello to Minnesota from Perth. How are you going, Okoto? It's actually getting a little better. Today it's a bit warm. It's about 35 degrees today, which is part of the reason why I'm in here. But yeah, it is slowly improving. How's it over there? $25 max. Nice. That's what you want. I'm glad to hear it, Akoto. Happy to help. It's what I'm here for. If you have questions, now's the perfect time to ask them because I am a captive audience. And obviously, I'm not doing much in the way of like interaction, unfortunately, because I have to focus on the work at hand. But I'm happy to answer questions. I do plan to getting back to doing educational content sooner or later. I just have to sort out my financial situation first. My gravers are about 125 mil long. They vary in length, just a little bit. I'm not sure how obvious it's going to be, but like that one's 5 mil or less. But yeah, they're generally, I believe, about 125, 120, 125 long, 5 inches. From the sources that I've managed to cover, like Ford Hallam and Jim Kelso and stuff, the average graver length is between 4 and 5 inches. 6 inches is getting a little long, but you can do it. I have done it. My punches, my stamps, and stuff like that, they're all 6 inches long. That's how I differentiate them from the gravers. And these are made of W1 tool steel. But a good substitute would be 1095 or 01 silver steel. I've made gravers out of 1084. Some of my favorite gravers from my old set that Alex won in the Bowie build-off was were made out of round files, old round files. So, But yeah, these are all W1. Sent to me by a friend in the States. Although, like, I mean, you have access to, yes, more or less. Of course, Ford has like multiple millions more than I do, but yeah, they're all based on Ford's designs, and some from Jim Kelso. But you have access to direct education on that, Mark, because you got Tian Berger, who's been doing this a lot longer than I have. And I'm sure if you spoke to Niels, he'd be able to put you in touch. If I had access to Tian or Ford or any of those guys, I would be sitting in their laps half the day learning. Because I am by no means a master. I'm not even that good at this. I'm just sharing what little I've learned in the period that I've been learning. You spoken to Tian? Well, there you go. He's far better than I am. How did you find him? Give you some insight? Of course, I gave these all copper cutting geometries, and I normally cut steel, so I don't know why I bothered with copper cutting. Because they're chipping like boogery. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, that would be my recommendation if you can't get your hands on like W1 or something like that. I haven't had a chance to speak to Tian, but I've seen some of his videos and seen a lot of his work. Very talented boy. Hey, Mark. How you going? Glad you could finally catch a live. What other? sharpen. Yeah, I mean, I've watched Ford's content 3 times through, and I still go back and watch it just to pick up new tips and tricks. So the thing I've learned is when I'm making the chisels, the best idea is to make the geometry as fine as possible, because you can always push it back a little bit to make it more obtuse. But refining it, like making it finer after it's heat treated, is a pain in the ass. And the reason that you normally end up with so many chisels is because you have different chisels for different mediums. So, like I said, most of these were made for copper cutting, and yet I'm doing a lot of steel cutting. So I need to put steel cutting geometry on these copper cutting chisels, which means reprofiling. But luckily, making them more obtuse in reprofile isn't actually that difficult, because you just increase your angles, so you're actually cutting less material. The last thing you want to do is make them too obtuse. With flat chisel like Karakiri and Shishiai, like this is a Shishiai body that I'm currently sharpening, safety edge chisel. With the bottom one, I don't leave the heel flat. I use a rolling motion. It's this kind of motion, and that actually makes it easier. It also gives more clearance to the heel. And then I leave the top of the chisel cut flat. Which goes against Ford's teachings, but it's something that I picked up from watching some original Japanese content on gravers engraving katanas. A lot of the katana graver like footage that I've seen of like actual horimono experts, they rock their chisels when they sharpen. So I decided to give it a shot, and I like it. So that's what I'm doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I also find that in the cases of like the Maru body, the round bottom chisels, the European style geometry is easier to sharpen, but requires a lower angle of attack, whereas the Japanese style requires a much more difficult sharpening process, but has a much higher angle of attack. So it depends on what you're doing as to whether or not which one works. I think that I would prefer Japanese style gravers for cutting copper, but for steel, I definitely prefer the European style geometry. So I have Japanese tug on it with European style cutting cross sections. And that's true of the Maru body and the Ke body. I find the Ke body, like I find the higher angle of attack, like that higher chisel angle, means there's more force going this way across the chisel. And so there's less meat behind it. With a European chisel, because it's lower, it's going into more meat of the chisel. But again, it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your gravers. Having a high angle of attack is useful when you're trying to get in and around corners and stuff. It's also really good when you're working softer materials like copper, because you don't have to worry so much about the resistance. But in steel, I found that the resistance is enough; it just shears the cutting edge off. Less so in the Maru body, more in the Ke body, the hair cutting chisel, the V point. And I tend to make multiples of the V chisel because they break real easy. And having to resharpen them every 5 seconds is a pain in the ass. So having multiples is useful. I have 3 at the moment, and I want to make like 4 more. So I don't have to sharpen so much. Just going to respond to this message. Right. Hey, Bash. Have a good day at work, buddy. Okay. Do I need to sharpen anything else? Yes. With the really small cutters like this one, I prefer to have control of the tool itself rather than the sharpening medium, and so I'll do it, sharpen it normal way like this. This is actually a graver from the old set that got lost behind my desk before I sent it off. Hey, Swiss Forge, how you going? So this was supposed to be in the kit that I sent to Alex and Nissa, but it ended up getting lost in the process of my dirty shop. Which is okay by me because I needed one anyway. So not bad, man. Not bad. Just doing my best, taking it one day at a time. What are you up to today? Out in the forge today? door locks. Nice. What else do we have? Do I want to sharpen another one of my keyboardy? Two corpses I saw. Oh. That one's sharp. Haha. The constant waiting game. Glad I can provide some distraction. We were actually talking about the Bowie competition, which I will be running again this year. Earlier, I was wondering if you're going to enter again, because I really loved your piece. That one's fine. Yeah, me too. I'll be going live more often now that I've got myself set up in the new spot. Sorry you caught a very boring part of the stream where I'm sharpening gravers, but the unfortunate but necessary part of engraving. I think I actually, per job, spend more time sharpening than I do actually graving. Well, you can always try and improve on yourself, mate. What ended up happening to that piece? Or do something completely different? Indeed. That is also an option. Always next time, Dash. Always next time. Fair enough. Have you used that hammer yet? I know you're not really a bladesmith, so it probably doesn't serve as much purpose. All right, Tim. Cheers, mate. I'm thinking somewhere around June, July, it'll get started. I've still got to work out what the prices are going to be and all that. So don't worry, you'll have plenty of lead time. Yeah, that's the idea. I am biased. I love my dog's head hammers. I'm going to see if I can work a heel on this that's actually going to make this usable. But unfortunately, it's sheared back so far that to sharpen it out is going to take forever. Yeah, it works. Nice. Set my mind, just listen to the wildflowers grow. Wow. Hey, Wayne. I was wondering when you were going to show up. I went live on YouTube specifically so that I could see it. Nah, that's not true. I went live on YouTube because I want to spread myself out across platforms. And my YouTube channel was almost dead, so it was time for me to spend some time over here. Having your wonderful company was just a bonus. Move the light. try and move it over where you guys can see it. Sorry. Kind of just working on my own, out in my own little land. Ah, fair enough, Wayne. Bloody technology. Gotta love it, eh? That one didn't snap, it just went blunt. Fine. Fair enough. Gotta love it when it stumps even the younger generations. Sharp stuff. Demonic clown professional. It. I believe he was referring to information technology bash, but I could be wrong. But I could be a pound poor and a penny wise. Hey, Boar. How you going? Yeah, might be time there, Wayne. Might be time. Got to keep up with the times. All right, Bash. See you later, mate. I'll be here. I'm going to be here for a couple of hours, I think. Got to boost that watch time so that I can keep my channel. Hey, Fallen. So for a hunter or a Bowie knife, like I tend to kind of go the same for both. With Bowie knives, you can have like your back-tempered spine. So oh, that sucks, Wayne. Definitely time for a new phone. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, what was I saying? 56 to 58 is pretty decent. Rockwell for the edge on a Bowie or a hunter. Unless you're looking to get the best edge retention out of it. Almost impossible to film. What are we? What's impossible? Yeah, 56 to 58 is normally pretty decent for most steels. if you want to see more detail of what I'm doing, just make sure your settings are set to 1080p, because I'm currently exporting at 1080p, so... Tiny little microchips at the edge. That's fucking fun. Oh yeah, no, for sure, Fallen. Like the big thing is that, like, it comes down to the specific type of steel. For the generic steel that you're going to be using, you know, like your standard 1084s and stuff like that, 50, 58, 59 Rockwell's probably as high as you can go without it being too brittle. 52-100's got a fantastic ability to retain an edge above like 62 Rockwell, but you sacrifice fragility. And so with buoys and hunters and stuff like that, I prefer a slightly softer blade, like, you know, that 56 to 58, purely because it makes it easier to sharpen. Like, you do not want to take a 62 Rockwell blade to a 62 Rockwell blade to a steel, to a knife steel, because you will fuck it up big time. So I carry a little pickled rabbit steel when I'm out hunting, and if I was to run a 62 Rockwell knife over that, I would just pop chips out of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think Swiss is quite a bit younger than you, Wayne. Well, it depends on what the steel's made out of. If it's a CPM 3V, then yeah, it'll hold up, no worries. Oh yes, CPM MagnaCut. Yeah, MagnaCut's like the next biggest thing since 3V. So yes, at 64 Rockwell, that stuff will hold up. to being horribly abused. But yeah, the downside is that you can only sharpen it on diamonds. And even with synthetic stones, it's, difficult. You also can't forge it. All good, mate. Yeah, I would say so. And sanmai is you don't really forge sanmai. You weld, you forge weld. You can forge weld it, maybe in a vacuum forge, maybe. But yeah, you'd probably roll it out, but you wouldn't get much forging done on it. Just looking for my strop, which I seem to have misplaced. Oh. Yeah, whatever. Oh, interesting. That would be useful. Is it dropping in and out for you guys? Hello. Crap. I think the